Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create this half mermaid, half human hybrid, so if you want to see this look, then just keep on watching. So I'm going to start with the human side of my face, and you can do this side however you want to, but I started by priming my eyelid with some concealer and setting them with a skin colored eyeshadow. Then I started building color, starting off with a light brown in the crease and adding darker brown shades more towards the outer V. Next I'm going in with a shimmery gold shade on the lid, but trying to keep it within the first 2/3 of my eye, leaving room for the darkest shade in the outer corner. I'm adding a little bit of setting spray to my brush to make the shimmery shade pop a little bit more on the lid. Next I'm going in with a black eyeliner to create a wing. Again, this side of the face can be done however you want, but I almost always do a winged eyeliner, so I wanted to go with that here. I have a piece of washi tape in my outer V to help me guide myself with the eyeliner, but after removing the tape I'm going to go back in and sharpen up the lines and go over the liner a little bit to darken it up more. And I keep checking in the viewfinder to make sure that it still has the same shape I want and it still looks good from any angle that I can see it from. So now I'm just taking a clean makeup wipe to clean up a little bit of the fallout from the shadow and sharpen up the liner a little bit. I'm going in with a luminous primer and applying some foundation to the skin and blending it out with a damp blending sponge. So my camera didn't end up recording the next couple of steps, but I applied some concealer and set the liquids with a powder, and all of a sudden I have a full face of bronzer, highlighter, and blush. So now I'm adding in some shadow to my lower lash line, applying a pair of false lashes, and adding some mascara to my lower lashes. This was my first attempt at starting the ripped skin with liquid latex. The technique I was trying here involved just building up multiple layers of latex and then pulling it from the skin to create a ripped appearance, but I didn't end up liking the technique, so I ended up going back to fix it with a different technique in a couple minutes. So now I'm starting the mermaid side, and I didn't really have a plan for this other than that I wanted it to be blue toned and kind of creepy looking. So I'm starting off by applying a light blue shade to my crease area and deepening it up with increasingly darker blue tones, dragging the shadows out to my temples and also down the bridge of my nose. So now I'm going in to cut the crease with some concealer and a flat shader brush, but I end up going over the entire crease shape that I've cut out with some liquid liner in a couple seconds, so feel free to skip this step if you're confident in your lining abilities. So now I'm filling in the shape that I've cut out with some black liquid liner, and after I've filled this in, I'm going to be covering about 1/2 of the lid with a sparkly lip topper, but you can do this with any sort of glitter or sparkly eyeshadow that you have on hand. So now I'm applying a white foundation and setting it with a loose white powder just to give the appearance that these are definitely two different types of skin on one face. Next I'm going to be contouring with the same light blue shadow I used on my eyelid and then adding deeper blues progressively to emphasize the hollows of my cheeks to create the illusion that I have any sort of bone structure whatsoever, because I do not. So next I'm just adding in a light shimmery blue highlight before moving on to my nose, where I'm using the same technique I used for my cheeks to contour, putting down a lighter color and progressively darker colors to create the illusion of bone structure, and I'm highlighting the nose with the same blue highlight that I just used on the cheekbones. So next I'm going in with some black liquid eyeliner and a tiny detail paintbrush to create a second wing on my lower lash line, as well as to touch up the original liner. Off camera I applied some false lashes to my top and lower lashes. So now I'm going in to build up some of the fake skin with liquid latex and cotton. Please remember, if you're going to be working with liquid latex, to be very safe and careful around your eyes. The latex has a really strong smell and it can definitely irritate skin and eyes and noses, so please make sure to do a patch test on your skin before to make sure that you don't react poorly to it. For this process, I'm just laying down liquid latex, putting cotton on top, and then a second coat of latex to sandwich the cotton down. I repeated this process about 3 to 4 times to really build it up before going over it with some foundation and concealer to help blend it into the skin. I'm using my fingers to tug the latex away from the skin and kind of pulling it up to look like torn skin. If you rip the latex, don't worry, that's okay. Creating different textures will help it look more realistic, like real torn skin. Now I'm taking a cool tone brown shadow to add a bit of bruising to the skin and to help conceal the edges of the latex that don't quite blend into the skin. I also added some red and orange to create the appearance of irritation, as well as some blue and purple shadows to emphasize the bruising. So now I'm going back over to the mermaid side with some light blue shadow to create the first part of the shadow that the skin would be casting onto the mermaid skin. I'm adding in some darker blue shadow deeper into the rib skin to really emphasize the depth of the rib skin and to give the illusion that the mermaid skin really extends deep underneath the human skin. Also, suddenly I have some shells glued to my head. My camera died and I got a little craft crazy, so all I did here was use liquid latex to attach some shells and pearls to my forehead. I'm not sure how I feel about this, so feel free to leave this out if you're not really into the look that this creates. For the lips, I'm using a dark blue lipstick and topping it with the same lip topper that I used for my eyelid. So for this next part, I'm just adding in some fake blood, but I had a mirror covering my face the entire time I was filming it, but it's pretty self-explanatory, so just slap some fake blood on wherever you personally see fit. And now my sweater's gone. So now I'm just taking an eyebrow pencil to outline the patches of mermaidy skin that I'd like to have exposed on my chest and shoulders. I'm repeating the same process for these skin patches as I did with the face. I'm taking latex, placing down some cotton, and then adding another layer of latex, repeating this whole process around 3 to 4 times, and then I'm coloring in the area with a blue shadow. Next, I'm taking a scraping tool to pull up the edges of the latex skin. I'm really sorry the next few minutes aren't the best as far as footage is concerned, but in my defense, it's really hard to do makeup and special effects to your own chest and shoulders. Again, here I'm mimicking the same pattern as on the face, placing a light blue shadow in the opening of the skin and following up with a darker blue shadow placed further inside to give the illusion that the mermaid skin continues deeper beneath the human skin. Next, I'm drawing in the scales with a black liquid liner. Again, not very in focus, not very easy to see, and very hard to do on yourself. But I'm just making little crescent shapes and making sure that the row beneath the first row, the crescents are not lined up. There's a bit of a gap between them. With a small detail brush, I'm taking a dark blue shadow to shade in the scales where they would be lying on top of each other, creating a shadow naturally. This doesn't show up too well on video, but it does look really, really cool in photos. To finish off the scales, I added in some highlight to the rounded portion of the scale where the light would naturally be reflected off the surface, and then I went in with the same lip topper again to add some shimmer to the highest part of the scale. I'm taking some foundation and concealer to blend the latex into the skin, and similar to the face, I'm now going in with a cool, toned brown to add dimension to the skin, followed by orange, red, blue, and purple to make the skin look extra irritated, bruised, and gross. So for some reason, my camera is dead set on never filming anything involving fake blood, but the next step is just applying it anywhere and everywhere you can to make it look as crazy and gory as you want. And this is the final look. So here we have our sinister but kind of cute half human, half mermaid, and now you can go out into the world and scare everyone you know. So if you want to look a little extra creepy, you can add in some contacts like this, but otherwise, this is the final look and you can just keep it how it is. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked the video, and I hope you consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you next time.